Hello, friends and family. Sorry about it taking so long to get an update out, but we've had a very busy last 3 days. When we left off, we were getting ready to make our trip from Frankfort to Ludington. And that was about a 10-hour day. And we had following seas the entire day, which was really nice because you kind of ride that little wave and it gives you a little extra boost. And the seas were, fairly calm other than that, just that little swell that pushed us along. Wind was not too bad. And again, the flies were out. So that was the bad part. So we pulled into the marina in Ludington, which is a lot nicer place than it sounds. We were actually at a little park and lots of great people. Took Molly on a couple of walks and met some really nice boating people, and then went to a little pub and got some supper. The next day, we got up early and put in a 12-hour day. And the reason we put in a 12-hour day was because everything was going so well. We had the wind behind us, we had the following sea. We actually managed to hit 9 knots at one time. And so I wanted to try to get as far as we could while we had those conditions because you just want to try to maximize that whenever it happens. We ended up at a nice little sandy anchorage right off of Lake Michigan in Lake Kalamazoo, just a little bit off of the main lake. Peaceful night, really nice anchorage there, and the anchor wasn't hard to get up. It was like a sandy bottom, so that was really nice. And we needed a really good night's sleep because yesterday was going to be our Chicago crossing. So we got in bed about 7:30 and got up at 3 a.m. and headed out, pointed the boat towards Chicago, and left out. It was it was an interesting experience at night crossing Lake Michigan. I could see on my AIS as well as all the other, just looking for lights or anything. I was, not inside of another boat or land. And that's an interesting experience to be in the middle of Lake Michigan in the dark, and you're the only human in 50 square miles. That's probably the most remote or isolated I've been in my life, and I hope that's probably the last time. But we made good way across Lake Michigan. It was actually fairly calm. Everything was going really well. We were actually heading towards Calumet River, which is just a little south of Chicago. The Chicago commercial traffic is pretty intense, and after my experience in New York Harbor, I wanted to try to avoid that if I could. So a lot of people go down a little bit further to the Calumet River and then hook in there and go down to the Illinois. I could see the Chicago skyline, and we were probably about 2 hours away from being completed with the Great Lakes when Neverland suddenly just stopped moving forward and the RPMs went up, which I immediately knew that we either had another problem with the transmission or a problem with the flex plate, which I'll explain in just a minute. So, since we weren't going anywhere, I decided to call Towboat, and they towed us. They gave us a 3-hour tow to Michigan City, Indiana, which is where we are now. I talked with my mechanic, and he talked with his transmission guy, and we did some research. And we think that the flex plate has gone out again, which, if you look back at my post when we were in Connecticut, I actually replaced the flex plate. Um, there was a new flex plate put on 80 hours ago when I had the transmission rebuilt. So this thing's eating flex plates for some reason, which could be because of a vibration, could be because of a misalignment, could be because the only people that are making these flex plates now are um, the Chinese, and it's just not up to the quality of the original flex plate that came as an OEM part on this boat. So we think that the flex plates that they're making now are really made for gas engines and not able to handle the torque of a diesel engine. Now, I've also seen where some people have had these flex plates on for thousands of hours without any problem. So we've either got a misalignment problem or some sort of vibration that's just the flex plate isn't happy about. And what the flex plate is it sits between the transmission and the engine, and it's just a disc with springs that absorbs the shock and the torque when you put it in gear. And so I did some research last night. There's actually a company that makes a beefier one, more of an OEM spec one, out of England, but they have a U.S. distributor. So I'm going to call them this morning and speak to them about it. Long story short, the boat's going to be in Michigan City for a few days. Now, I had planned to take a break in Chicago anyway, so I need to go home and take care of a few things for a few days and then come back up. So this will give me a chance to order the parts and catch up on everything. I'm taking a or a Uber over to the rental car place, and we're gonna take the rental car up to Port Huron, get the paddy wagon, and head home. So that's what's going on. The boat, we almost made our goal. We just didn't quite make it. And I get that part ordered. And since I've done it before, I can probably swap it out in about 6 hours. But I'd love to go ahead and put the higher quality one on if I can get my hands on it. The other thing I've decided to do too is to see if I can find someone around here who specializes in drive shaft alignment and that type of thing, just to look over everything and see if there's anything that that they notice that we're missing here and that could be causing an issue. Um, Ironically, the boat ran much smoother. The engine seemed to be running a lot smoother, and I think that's probably due to not only the new transmission, but we had the prop polished and balanced, and we were, I was just telling Pete, my mechanic, I think we picked up another half knot just by doing that because it was running so smooth. Um, if if by chance it's not the flex plate, my transmission does have a warranty. I don't think it's the transmission though, and Pete doesn't either. Pete's transmission guy, he said he hasn't had a problem in 20 years, and that would be really, really bad luck if I'm the first one in 20 years to have a transmission problem. So I feel pretty sure that it's the flex plate. So um, thanks for checking in. We're gonna go. I'm gonna take Molly for a walk, and we're gonna grab an Uber and go pick up this rental car and head towards Port Huron one last time and get the paddy wagon. Sorry for the haggard appearance. It's been a long 3 days, and I actually arrived at the marina after hours, so I'm not able to use any of the facilities. Couldn't take a shower or anything. So thanks for hanging in there with me. Also, I'm going to try to get better about doing these videos and using video editing and such. So yeah, hopefully they'll improve over time. So we will check in with you and let you know what's going on. I actually have a couple of ideas for a couple of little off videos I want to do just to explain a couple of things that we've experienced over the last couple of weeks. So once I get back home and start rearranging things, I'll try to knock those videos out for you. But anyway, thanks for checking in, and I will keep you posted.